managing after the outbound, after the finished goods, after the finished goods is out of the production line, you will have packaging and storing and maybe delivering and all these things. So, you know, as you see, management of raw material, purchase componentry includes purchasing, receiving, storing, retrieval. Second one is management of materials during the transformation process, like work in process operations. And third is the management of finished goods, packaging, shipping, distribution, logistics to end user. The purchasing, now with something important is purchasing and procurement. We saw in the value chain that we saw procurement of purchasing, one of the vertical supporting activities. It is a very important thing because they do our procurement on our behalf. You know, we don't do the purchasing or procurement. We ask the purchasing department to order for us different raw materials and spare parts, okay? So the purchasing or procurement function is responsible for acquiring the materials, goods needed in the production phase. It is an interface between supplier and production. So they are the guys who will be talking to the supplier, not me, the operation manager. I'll be talking to my purchasing department. My purchasing department on my behalf will be negotiating and connecting with the supplier. You have different decisions about, you know, with regard to purchasing. You can sometimes purchase the whole product, everything, and you go and resell it.
What's your name on it?
Yes.
Like trading.
This is one thing, yeah?
Trading.
Trading. Yeah. You know, you become like an agent, a reseller. And alternatively, you can purchase some components and manufacture the rest. Yes? Mm-hmm. And thirdly, you can manufacture everything. So you have these choices, these different options. Historically, you know, there was monopoly. So some organizations tried to make a monopoly. Supply chain, identified as supplier, then organization, and whatever. So what they used to do is to go and take, you know, like, what's the word? Take over the suppliers. They buy the suppliers. So they become suppliers of themselves. And this is not acceptable legally or ethically because it's promoting monopoly. And this is why you have cases with Microsoft, you know, in the law. There are legal cases about monopoly by Microsoft with regard to Internet Explorer and other things. So you see, you should not be the supplier of yourself.
It's a type of expansion, isn't it? When you buy the supplier, you expand vertically.
Yes, you can, but this is from free market legality.
Right.
It is not acceptable. Although there are available advantages in having, the question of whether to stick to one supplier or to multiple suppliers is something operation management and the purchasing department have to acquire. Because sometimes if you have one supplier, there are advantages. Advantage is that maybe you'll be given preferential treatment, you know, good discounts and some intimacy, you know, you become like strategic allies. But there's also the possibility of relying on one source is not good, because if you have, for whatever reason, the supplier cannot commit or cannot deliver, then you will not be able to use other suppliers. So you need to balance between your options with regard whether you have one supplier or multiple suppliers. Logistics, as you know, logistics is about the handling, deals with the flow of products into and out of the manufacturing process. So it's about receiving material, packaging and shipping and warehousing. This is one of the functions which we saw in the value chain, you know. Then we have e-business and SCM. We said already, I indicated the supply chain management system using the internet can connect you to your suppliers. So you can order online, you can access their catalogs, you can see the availability of the raw material and the spare parts and all these things. So supply chain management system is very important. And the ERP systems now are expanding outwards, you know, that they are connected to the internet to connect customers and to connect suppliers. Components of a supply chain management, of an electronic supply chain management system include supply chain replenishment. When we're talking about reordering, remember today with the calculations, replenishment is when you reach the safety point, safety stock, then a reorder point will be starting the replenishment of the material. Also, you have e-procurement. E-procurement means electronic procurement. You know, that means it is done online, selling and buying online. Collaborative planning, the different parties, include suppliers and their customers or different organizations who are in the supply chain. They can synchronize and collaborate in their planning. So I can adjust my plan, with accordance of my supplier. So his delivery dates can be inputted into my plans. Then we have collaborative product development. So you can, like different companies working on, developing products, as in alliances. We have e-logistics also, the managing the movement of material online using internet and supply webs. So all these things about solutions, dealing with logistics and supply chain with the internet. Just in time already described this. This is what Toyota has achieved, to have zero inventory or zero stock material with no stores. The types of systems can be linked to supplier and to distribute via integrated information system. Forget all of this. It's about a system that connects all the different parties, and it will be making adjustments, whenever there is a change in the demand. This will be reflected on the input to the system, and will be reflected on the order to the supplier. So the supply chain will be reflecting. Any sales order will have its impact on all parties. And this will get you as close as possible to achieve just in time. Kanban is a Japanese word, which talks about using cards to flag the need for replenishment. In the past, they did not have systems, so they had for every item in the store cards. So they used to have like a flag where this level of this has reached the safety or minimum level. So we have now information system that can do all this. Also, we can do advanced planning. Advanced planning can be done using MRP, that's material requirement planning, and MRP2, manufacturing resource planning, and ERP, enterprise resource planning. In practice, MRP1 and MRP2 are not anymore. They were in the 80s and in the 70s and the 60s, and ERP came to take over this. Because ERP handles all kinds of resources, not only material, or not like in the case of MRP, not material and the human resources like in the case in manufacturing, but it does all kinds of different resources. ERP is an enterprise, resources, all kinds of resources, planning across the whole organization. So this can actually help us to do our advanced planning system. With this finished, now we have